What's up guys, my name is Dan. Behind me is my 2015 Ford Transit self-converted camper van that we've been streaming and living out of for about 2 years now while traveling across the US. In this video, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick walkthrough of the rig, talk about solar, talk about things that I wish I did and didn't do when building out this van, and just give you guys a quick overlook of everything inside and how I managed to live out of it. So without any further ado, let's all hop in the van. But before we go inside the van, I figure I should talk about the van itself for just 1 second. 2015 Ford Transit. Under the hood is a 3.5 liter twin turbo EcoBoost. This is the longest wheelbase van that Ford makes. Along with that, it is a tall roof and the extended version, so it is the biggest van that Ford makes in any way. It's been extremely reliable for me for the couple of years that we've had it, and there's a lot of reasons that I went with the Ford over top of a Mercedes or a Dodge van. I can make a whole separate video on that if you guys would like. Let me know in the comments, but otherwise, let's start off with the garage. So if we're going to be honest, I didn't clean the garage for you guys at all, but you can see I got the tools hung up on the sides. All of our electrical components are behind this door, our batteries, inverter, all that stuff. Obviously, we've got the bikes piled in here like a mess. We've got the RC drift car and the RC truck in their little garages. We've got license plates all the way along this wall in the back, but you can't really see many of them. Mountain bikes and all that good stuff is just jammed under there. Selling most of that soon, to be honest. But let's get inside and show you guys what you're actually here for. All right, to address the elephant in the room right off the bat, this was sent over to us by Moser Racing and by Next Level Racing, and it's obviously a racing driving simulator. We live stream it on TikTok and Twitch almost every day, along with posting content here on YouTube of it. It's a whole lot of fun, and obviously we have to move our monitor down closer when we get the rig set up, but that is that. Moving on from there, we've got a seat swivel installed on the passenger seat, one for the racing simulator and two just to open up a lot more space in the van. Moving on from there, we've got the control panel, as I call it. These two buttons are for our main lights in the van, bedroom and the main lights. This is our water pump switch. This will be our water heater switch once I get around to installing that. This is a switch for the inverter, so basically it turns our 12-volt solar battery power into usable 120-volt power, just like all of your house plugs. So we can run things like the microwave, the Xbox, PlayStation, TV, and the racing simulator off the power of the sun. We've got the monitor showing us how much power we're making and or losing. Moving on from there, the next big thing that you might notice is the countertop. This thing was a pain in the ass to make, but I'm so glad that I did because it really adds a lot of character to the van. I put a lot of time into it, and it turned out pretty darn good for not doing any epoxy work before. Along with that, we have got the barnwood front plate here. My uncle tears down barns in Iowa, so that's 100-year-old plus barnwood, and you'll see a lot more old barnwood throughout the van. Next thing is the custom hardwood floor. Also was a major pain in my ass, but I'm pretty glad that I did it. Turned out pretty darn well. Ends up covered up by a rug all the time anyways, but that's all right. We know it's down there. Couple more things to address before we climb into the van is right off the bat, you can see our Suburban 3-burner stove and oven. I love that thing to death. I'm so glad that I fitted an oven in a van, and I cannot recommend you putting an oven in your van enough. It makes it so much more like home. Another thing on the same topic of making the van feel like home is this diesel heater right here. In the winter, being able to walk in and turn on the thermostat right there, click the on button, and within a couple minutes have a nice toasty warm home in the middle of the snowy mountains. It really takes it from feeling like you're being in a van to a home. But without any further ado, let's crawl in. Step up over the racing sim isn't too bad, but it is a little bit of a pain in the ass. First thing you'll notice in here is the massive sink followed by the ultra-wide TV. These are two things I'm really stoked on. The sink, I did not plan on having this big of a sink in the van, but it was on Craigslist for a really good deal. It was actually like 3 inches narrower than your average sink, and as you can tell, my countertop wasn't wide enough. That's why I had to do this little penny strip right here. This was actually just to make my countertop a little bit wider to fit this full-size sink. So thankful that I put a full-size sink in it. Guys, do not put a silly little sink in your van. Just put a normal-size sink in. I know it takes up a little bit of room, but you can always put shit in the sink. This thing is a great catch-all. Whenever I'm about to drive, I throw all sorts of stuff in there, and I know it's not going to break. Moving up from the sink, you'll notice our gaming monitor. It's a Skeptor 30-inch ultra-wide 200 hertz refresh rate gaming monitor. Gets the job done great. Just recently got it, and I love it. Upgraded from the cheap Vizio. Notice a lot more barnwood accents all the way throughout the van, and those are all thanks to my Uncle Dan. Once again, the wood is all 100 years old. I just got some random faucet off of Amazon. It was like one of the cheapest ones I could find. This black head actually screws off, so you can attach a shower head to that if you want. Usually I just rinse off right out the van if I need to, but I am going to figure out a shower head system to be able to take hot showers in the van very soon. Moving over to this side, you'll also notice another custom hardwood countertop with a penny splice in it, once again just to make my countertop wider, because when I got these pieces of wood I didn't know how wide my countertops would be. I actually got these pieces of wood far before I got the van. It was kind of the first commitment to the van build, but it wasn't wide enough to be able to fit our fridge and freezer combo. I believe this is the biggest fridge freezer that Dometic makes. Pretty stoked with it. I wish I would have got a stand-up fridge. The chest fridge and freezer is just a pain in the ass. The slides are always breaking on the drawers. Getting your groceries in and out just isn't the easiest thing. That's one thing that I heavily regret. I knew I wanted a stand-up fridge, but I ended up committing to the chest style freezer, and I'm a little bummed out that I did, but it is what it is. You can see we have an 800 watt microwave. This is just a cheap microwave off of Amazon. It actually wasn't even a mountable microwave. It was supposed to be a countertop microwave because those are a lot cheaper. So I just got some angle iron and shot some screws into the side of it. Actually, this side looks like my screw wiggled out. That's part of driving your house down the road on the regular, I guess. Moving to the back of the van, you can see our two bench seats that we have made out of old skateboards. This one houses like clean laundry. It's like winter coats, bathing suits, things that don't get used super often. And the other bench seat houses all of our dirty laundry. Just throw it in there, pull it out and wash it when we're done. Also have spare bedding in there for if Cassie the dog has any accidents inside. In this cabinet, we have all of our dishes, so basically just cups and plates, Tupperware, stuff like that. This is our Wi-Fi router, something that I'm very, very commonly asked about. They claim we can get up to 1,000 megabytes a second on this. I generally see about 100 megabytes a second, which is plenty enough speed for me in the van to be able to game and stream online. Speaking of gaming, we're moving up to the console area. This is where we got the Xbox One and the PS4 into the shelves. They have HDMI cables that run down through the wall. You can actually see them right there, down through here, under the floor, and back up this wall to our TV, just to kind of minimize a wiry mess. Looking at storage in the kitchen, we have got this massive, massive drawer. This is our electronics drawer. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but that's where we keep all of our electronics and some paperwork and anything else that might find its way in there. From there, we've got the silverware drawer. We've got kind of our bathroom toiletry drawer, all of the weird shavers and toothpaste and stuff like that. House just random food in here. We also just have random food in this drawer, whatever seems to fit. And then we put all of our pots and pans inside of the oven here. It's a pain doing that. It sucks having to pull them out every time you turn on the oven, but I really don't have space for them anywhere else, so you just got to make do. Looking at the back of the van, you notice the two big old windows, and I did cut those in. It was a pain. It was really scary, but it went really smooth. We didn't have any issues. Cut in windows on each side of the bed and our kitchen window here. Very glad that I did that. Good airflow coming through the kitchen, good airflow in bed when it's hot, and most importantly, when you roll over in the morning and wake up, you get to see out and see your view, which is obviously the biggest perk of being in the van. Speaking of airflow, we have got two Max Air Vent fans. Not happy with these at all. Max Air Vent makes their circuit boards to not be able to handle an average 12 volt system power. If I remember right, their circuit boards only hold up to or can only withstand 13.7 volts, and an average 12 volt system can get up to 14.4 volts. So both of my fans are actually dead right now. That's something I need to fix very soon. But when they are working, they kick ass. It's really great having a good airflow through the van. Towels right here. This always turns into a mess. I try to have it to where my dish rags and towels are in this basket along with my underwear and socks, and then my main clothes in this basket, and things like hoodies and jackets and stuff in the far basket, just because it's harder to get to. Phone charger on the end of the bed. I'm actually going to retrofit another phone charger and a laptop charger back there. Something I meant to do a long time ago, never got around to it. I just want to mention real quick, if you guys are into van life or gaming, consider hitting the subscribe button. We're going to be posting on here a lot more regularly. We're going to be posting videos of the van build itself. We're going to be talking about things that I wish I did, things that I wish I didn't do throughout the van build. Also, we'll be posting a lot of gaming content. But going on from that, one thing I forgot to mention in the whole van build is the solar system specs. So we have got all Renogy components. We've got two 300-watt panels on the roof. We got a 60-amp charge controller. We have two 100-amp-hour lithium-ion batteries, which I'm going to be getting another one or two of those soon. And we have a 3,000-watt inverter, which turns all of that battery power into usable house power to be able to run the microwave, Xbox TV all at the same time without having any issues. But there have been times where I've been charging my e-bike, we have the microwave going, we have the TV running, we have the laptop or two charging, and we have no issues at all. The 3,000-watt inverter is plenty enough to get the job done for what I need. But if you guys have any questions at all on the van build, drop them in the comments. I'd be very happy to answer any questions. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram, Dan's Gaming Van. I'll be most likely to respond on Instagram if you have a direct question for me. But that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out in the van with me and checking things out. We'll do a more in-depth van tour at some point in time, and we will keep you guys up to date as I do a lot of modifications to the van. I've got some exciting things for the van planned that are coming very soon, so stick around for that. And that's it. MTV, get out my crib.